Sweet.
Alright, you guys ready then?
I am ready whenever you are.
No more last second things, Ghost?
Yep.
Alright. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty. So welcome to the Custom Robo speedrunning showcase. So the intro to this game is a cutscene of the nameless main character. Spoiler warning: this game's art style is very 2004 and very anime-esque.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Basically, the hero's gonna get dumped with his father.
I didn't even start my timer. I forgot it was on my end. Oopsies.
Well, just to set it to 1 minute in, and I'll cue you when it's at 1 minute.
Okay.
Welcome
I'm
to our
50
community
seconds
showcase.
right now.
Okay.
And
Already,
1
keep
timer
minute
now.
now.
Okay. Got it. Alright, so we start off our first day with a hero leaving his house because his father died and he needs to get a job. That's literally the story of the game from the start. Quick note, the main character's design is actually different on the Japanese version. He has like this really long headband for some reason, and they removed that in this version. I kind of think it looks better, honestly.
Also, Delphi is saying that the music is still playing in the background.
I got that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, basically, I think it was to save the frames why they removed it, truthfully. Because it would have been laggy as all.
Well,
I'll get
it's
not really,
like this
though,
game
but-
already has issues with lag, but usually just inside the battles, not the overworld walking part.
No, that's true.
So the story is we're going to this bounty hunting company to try and get a job, but we don't have a Robo, so we can't get a job. Right in the middle of being told no, the boss gets a call from the nearby lab saying the lab director needs us there because a bunch of burglars stopped by. So he sends us there with this blonde-haired man by the name of Harry to basically get a taste of what it's like to do bounty hunting and why we can't. Like, basically, he wants to scare us back home.
Yeah, and then we
Also,
decided to tag along for no reason at all.
Oh, so everyone in the community has an opinion of Harry?
They're
it's
all
pretty much
bad.
shared.
Very specific opinion.
Yeah. He is your main partner throughout most of the game. He will shoot you with bombs and pods and get in your way. And no, I do believe you guys are both playing on console, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm playing on a GameCube. I believe Stinger's playing on a Wii.
Yep.
There's very, very minimal difference. We haven't really tested it. Oops.
Yeah. So basically, Harry is possibly the worst partner in any game I've ever played with, excluding one character, which will come up later.
Including Secret of Mana, for those of you who've played that.
Yeah.
That's saying
We'll get into
something
that
about
a little
the
bit.
AI.
Yeah, so most text mashing is A/B text mashing on the GameCube controller. It takes some getting used to because there's like 8 frames of lag before every new text box. Anyway, so we're getting into our first battles. Johnny, do you want to explain the battle system of this game?
Yeah, so basically, basic GameCube control layout. A is jump, B is shoot, Y is to switch targets, X is to dash or charge, however you want to call it, R is bomb, L is pods. That's controls, and now you have to do everything possible you can to be as quick as possible, but we don't use pods. We barely use bombs. And you basically just jump and shoot. And charge.
Yeah, gun is generally your most powerful weapon in this game, especially when we start to get to changing our robos. The main combo for this game you want to actually do in the early game is the charge bomb combo, which is you ram into them with a charge and instantly knock them down. The goal of every battle, obviously, is to reduce your opponent's health to 0. The battles get progressively harder to do perfect, like I just did there.
Yeah, you did good.
I'm glad you had a perfect one.
Yeah, Stinger. I think Stinger actually you're still in the lead though. Weird.
Very slightly. I mean, technical stuff will do that. So, As the name suggests, there are a ton of different robos. One of the main mechanics of the game is that there's customization. Throughout the game, we're going to be starting to get more and more robo parts, although the amount that you actually use in the any percent story speedrun is relatively limited. Once we get to Grand Battle later, there's a lot more experimentation with that, so for those of you looking forward to the more custom aspect of the game, that'll probably be the better category, although there's a lot of neat stuff in the regular any percent as well.
There's a lot of nuances to this game, and the battle system is really, really well, like, super polished for
1 HP. Alright, get him from the gun. Stinger got charged, nice job. So, yeah, when we refer to charge, there's this little dash attack that every Robo has. It's unique to the Robo, and it will instantly knock an enemy down and do about 100 damage. It can do up to 200 depending on the Robo stats, because every Robo has its own stats. Rather than like a typical level-up progression of what would be considered a more typical RPG, as I said, most of your progression comes from getting stronger Robos and like having more stuff to work with.
Yeah, and okay, that's true. Yes, I was trying to answer the question for how long is the game. Yeah, the post game is a lot longer, but the any percent itself, I'd probably see ballpark in 6 to 8 hours at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, speedrun takes about.
I'm not sure exactly how long it takes to read all the text.
I counted them.
Yep, Shawnee has counted. There's how many text boxes?
For every time you have to push A, there's 4,172 text boxes in any percent. Which, if you were slower than someone, if you're slower than someone by average of 1 frame for mashing, you lose a minute 9 in the speed run. It's a very punishing game for that, but it can be made up quite easily in some parts with good battles. Yeah.
I should probably make mention, this is probably one of the more overlooked Nintendo first-party franchises. This is actually a Nintendo game, officially licensed, or officially made by a second-party developer by the name of Noise, which sadly I don't think they're around anymore.
No.
We haven't gotten a game in this series in about a decade.
The last one was Custom Robo Arena, right?
Yeah, for the DS.
Yeah.
And we only got 2 stateside. There are 5 games in Japan. You may have at least seen one of the Ray models as a trophy in one of the Smash Brothers games. That's probably, like most Nintendo franchises that don't get enough love, probably a lot of people's first exposure to this series was through something in Smash.
Yeah. Although it's thankfully, I would like to say one day it has a chance of coming back, but no one's talked about it in so long. It feels sad.
Yeah, this game sold modestly well for a GameCube game that basically got no marketing. That's why there's a lot of people who, if you go into any best of GameCube games threads, you'll see talk about this game. At least a little bit. Okay. Anyway, so this is Harry's sister, Mira.
Actually, you should answer with girlfriend. It's quicker by 2 screens.
It's actually hard to do text sometimes in this game. All right.
Yeah, there's a few options that are faster technically by lowering the number of text boxes, but you have to be really quick about actually switching to the correct option.
Yeah, and did we actually say what the record is for any percent?
Yes, you get your chance to brag about your 80% record, Sean.
I'm not bragging.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so...
when I first joined the Custom Robo community, the world record was 215. And I have now knocked it down considerably to 203.47.
Yeah, he grinded out any percent a lot. His run is like... This run's world record is... For a game with as much randomness as this game has, it's actually pretty close to optimized as like for an RTA
something has to be found in order for me to ever come close to that time again.
Yeah, somebody made mention there aren't really any major glitches in this game. We have like some small skips throughout, but including a fairly substantial one towards the end that we were not aware of for a very long time. But we'll get into that when we get there. So we have to talk to everybody, which is a common occurrence in this game.
Yes, a little bit too common.
So now that we have a Robo, the boss decides to give us a job, but the pay stinks.
Yeah. Also, Ernest is by far the best character in the game, dialogue-wise and just in general.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
So you do have to mind certain text prompts in this game. For instance...
the going home text.
Yeah, at the end of every day, you're given the option to either go home or wander around. It's fun in a casual playthrough to wander around because the people who localized this game had a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
This game's actually kind of hilarious in its localization. I think the team that localized it realized that certain parts of this game are a little silly, so they just decided to go full-on silly in a lot of places. You talk to a bunch of NPCs, what they have to say can at times be outright hilarious. They really had a lot of fun and put a lot of love into the localization of this game.
As well as I did actually, and this is something I don't recommend ever doing, I actually did check out the Japanese task and counted the text boxes as it flew by. And there seems to be the same amount of text boxes between Japanese and English. They just kind of just filled them up instead of taking away programming and prompts. So there's a lot of fluff and goof in this game, which works really well for the world.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get a Japanese copy of this game, which is why the community's pretty much just run it in English since onset.
Mm-hmm. But it's also... I don't think anyone's ever properly tested the Japanese version to see if there actually was any real-time saves in it.
So, as a note, the dice... Oh, darn, I got hit by a full-on Gatling gun. The dice block at the beginning of every fight is completely manipulatable, and you want it to you want it so that when you start the fight, you're as close to 1 on the dice block without going over, because you can go over and it'll tick back to 6, and then that just wastes your time. And not to mention, your opponent might get a head start on you, which I should mention. This game is not easy to do deathless.
No,
getting a deathless run in a marathon is actually really good.
Yeah, I think you currently have the best run in a marathon right now. You run it in the marathon.
2:15:07, I think, is my best for that.
So and that was with, I think, a death or 2?
Nope, deathless.
That was deathless. Okay.
So here we are actually getting the first set of upgrades. I say upgrades. Parts aren't strictly upgrades, they're just a bunch of variety to them. But this gun that I just picked up is the 3-way gun. It is the best gun in the game, and we will be using it for the entire playthrough.
Yeah, it basically... Actually, even for a grand battle, you'll see me use it quite a bit as well, because it shoots 3 rows of 3 bullets, which does, like, I think 15 damage each. So normally, if you shoot from afar, you do 45 damage. The fun thing is, if you put that right next to the enemy Robo, you hit all 9 at once. And if you do A and B together as an aerial shot, which is a little kind of shortcut you can do, for like, I can't remember what the actual technical term for it is in the game, but you're basically tricking the game thinking you're doing an aerial shot on the ground. But you can actually draw the enemy towards you and save even more time on that. And it's quite devastating. And plus, I think did you guys both pick up StingerPA S too?
I didn't pick that up yet.
Okay.
I did pick it up, but I forgot to equip it for this fight. I actually use a slightly different strat than what Ghost King will be doing, and I'm going to keep the normal gun on.
For base? Okay, that's fine. Everyone has a lot of different variants to how they play.
Yeah, I keep the normal gun until Metal Ape.
Final Fantasy mixed with Armor Core. That's an interesting metaphor. So at times, if I'm not sure where the best place to put myself is, I'll just aim to the far right, because if you aim straight right on most arenas, it causes your timer to tick down the least amount.
Yeah, and I did do testing on the cube launcher, which was beyond boring. But if you hit a wall, you can fall slightly faster and keep your timer. So if you think you're not going to keep that one, if you shoot up against, I think, the right wall, you save like 0.2 seconds for the counter, and you could potentially keep a good roll.
I should also mention that, so as we've mentioned, you do have bombs and pods. Like, bombs are your long-range checking attacks, and pods are not really that useful to the run.
Or anything.
Yeah, me and Rizzo were figuring out Grand Battle before. We actually figured out neither of us use pods during the Grand Battle run or any percent run. So...
Some of us still use it occasionally, but anyways, the point that I'm going to bring up with that is you can hit yourself with bombs and pods. If you hit yourself with a pod, it does no damage. If you hit yourself with a bomb, you can hurt yourself. The annoying thing is this game will have 2v2 battles later on, and your AI companions will love to just hit you, so you have to kind of pay attention to your AI because they're almost like a third opponent sometimes.
Shoutouts to Harry. Yeah, basically, when you do, it's going to be day 4 is when your first double battle will happen. It'll be against the married couple. If you guys watch, I think Harry's the green cube, right? No, he's blue. He's blue.
Hey, double charge.
You will see how annoying some of the partners can possibly be, because Harry he has an instant downing bomb, and if he hits you, it's just a huge waste of time. And there's no easy way of getting around Harry. We have yet to find no Harry skip. There's actually, yeah, the other thing is there's no skips or glitches in this game, really.
Yeah, it's just knowing how each battle plays out. Some Robos have really nasty loadouts, so you want to make sure that you know how to handle each fight accordingly. Because later on you'll start getting Robos that have shotgun, and this is bad because, as we've mentioned, the 3-way gun is best at close range.
Yeah, and you can kind of get around with it. Standard Bomb S, to me, is the most broken item in the game, despite 3-way gun being super crazy good. Because Standard Bomb S has
enables a lot of combos.
Yeah, because it doesn't down the opponent, and it stuns them for probably 2.5 seconds, so you can get there set up, and you can stop people from retreating, and just go from there. But shotgun... It's the only counter I have to shotgun, basically, is you stun them briefly and you hopefully hit them and walk away before you're within the range again. That's asking for a lot. The Stinger's having some really clean matches right now, actually.
Yeah, managed to catch up a little bit.
Actually, no, you're ahead.
Oh, nice.
So,
finally started actually playing the game.
I like this cutscene because Ernest swears in a foreign language.
Which I've dubbed poetry.
He swears in poetry. I love it.
Yeah. So he has a scar on his face, and there really is no background lore to this game other than the very poor webcomic, or not webcomic, comic in Nintendo Power, which.
It's special, okay.
It's special.
It's not good at all.
Or the closest thing they could draw to Ernest. Where is it? There you go. It's in the Francophase Z. Is that was the face they gave Ernest in the comic, but we've established basically that he may have gotten his scar from slam poetry. Yeah, back when Nintendo Power was a thing.
So the premise of this day is we go out and spend a while training, and our boss gives us a call very angrily and says, hey, you need to get down nearby the park. There's these 2 guys causing a ruckus. It turns out that they asked the same girl on a date, and she said yes to both of them at the same for the same day, at the same time, at the same place. So naturally they're duking it out for her affection.
Instead of just yelling at her.
And then she just leaves. And the 2 guys forget what they were fighting about, and then just decide that they want to go after us. I should also make mention that New Journey is sort of almost a giant tutorial for how to play this game, and it's a very effective one.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You'll see like a lot of text boxes that Harry says during the setup before battles. is in green, that's tutorial prompts, or tutorial text. Like, here's how you use this type of Robo, here's this Robo's strengths and weaknesses, here's some combo ideas, etc., etc.
Press A to short hop.
Yeah. There's also some stuff you can do to do that. Like if you shoot a bomb while in the air and land very briefly, you'll cancel some animation frames. But
by the way, this is Marsha.
situational.
She looks like Miku. We call her Miku. That's the story behind that.
Wait, what? Huh?
I called her
That's-
Marcia, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I'm
Marcia.
confused.
Yeah, the character designs in this game are weird. They're still better in this version than they are in Japanese. So it turns out we need a license to practice robo battling, otherwise we're doing it illegally. So we need to go get a
We need to get our driver's license.
pretty much.
And we're
To
going
be
to the
fair-
DMV today.
Yeah, this is actually one of the more difficult things to learn how to do. Ghost King knows the answers. I don't, despite me being world record holder. I actually always look at a chart that actually has dots in the line where they should be. So I actually don't know, but some of the answers actually are actually pretty comical. Like
That's
shout out to the
actually-
parts coordinator.
That was a good reminder for me to grab my notes.
Yeah.
Part-
This is the only
Shout
thing
out
I
to
use
parts
notes for.
coordinator. Yeah. So we don't head to our office. We head to the test hall. Although Stinger's
Okay.
like a little ahead of me now, so.
To be fair, everyone wants Ernest's chair. That is
Ernest's
the
chair
best
is
chair in
great.
video games.
Which, spoiler warning, he does stand up.
Also, spoiler warning, there is no spoiler in the chair.
Middle, top, bottom, bottom, top, bottom, bottom, top, and the last two questions don't matter. Shoutouts to Department of Fish and Game.
I accidentally
Yeah.
failed it.
Oh no!
I got off track on which question I was answering.
Yeah, Drac has it right. Everyone may want the Ernest chair, but he wants Ernest. Ernest is the best.
Oh, correct.
Actually, to be fair,
I'm gonna get a bad start.
in Grand Battle, Ernest actually is probably your best partner when you do have him. Everyone else is like mediocre or okay, but when you have Ernest as a partner, stuff gets done.
Yeah, too bad you don't get him a new journey.
Yeah.
You do fight him a couple times in New Journey, and by a couple I mean
Yes.
once.
Lots of bees later too.
Yeah. So because this game, admittedly, this game has a lot of robo battles, and sometimes like certain ones are rather insignificant. We've kind of come up with our own community in jokes for a lot of things. Darn, I am getting just downed. There is an optimal way to play this game. Just not something the AI has any regards for. So
No.
sometimes you'll be like, "All right, I'm right in your face. I want to charge," and they'll keep shooting you in the face, and you're just like, "Why are you shooting me in the face? Just let me down, you."
Because they know you're going to charge them. I mean, they're
Yeah.
clearly metagaming you.
They're reading your control inputs. Actually, at least Rahu 3 probably does, truthfully.
So now we have our license.
Rahu 3 does everything that a god should.
But does he know why kids like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Probably.
Yeah, actually, he probably does. He probably killed the kids.
So Ernest tells Harry to walk us home. I don't know why. I'm a grown man. I don't need my
it's for
coworkers
plot.
going home with me.
It's for
But it is for plot. Yeah, so Harry happened to pick up the number of the cute girl working at the test lab, so she thought he was quote unquote charming. And like an idiot, he leaves it he accidentally drops it in his haste to return home. So he just leaves it on the front lawn.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing will come from this at all. Everyone here is okay. The world is very stupid. Like the civilians of this world are all weird.
But they're amusing. Like the generic NPCs who know they're generic NPCs.
Yes, there's a lot of fourth wall breaking with those the generic boy characters and generic girl characters sometimes.
I should also point out it is fastest to take the left path, even though the game forces you down the right path whenever it takes control of your character. That's about 0.3 seconds, which over the course of a run will save you about like 2 seconds to always go the left path to work instead of the right path.
Yeah, and this is the only day you can actually ignore Lucy. So Yeah, don't pay rent. Keep going. Also, Harry is very annoying when he's on the overworld with you, when you're being escorted places, and he will, every once in a while, prompt text boxes. And if you're unfamiliar to where those are, you'll waste time. Those dudes just always keep casually mashing. So...
There is no casual mashing in this game.
There's for me.
So the story this day is the wife of the family next door picked up the note that Harry left, called it, and heard the voice of a cute girl, so she thinks her husband is cheating on her.
Also, fun fact, she doesn't have a name yet. They don't give her a name till day 9.
She's just a woman.
Yep. So that's, like, we're not trying to be derogatory, they just never gave her a name. So when you see the text boxes, they just says woman, and we're like, oh, okay.
She also has the best robot in the game.
Yes, we'll be basically stealing... it's a shame that you can't forfeit and quit and go to a parts generator, because it immediately puts you in the next battle afterwards, or else you would be able to get Metal Ape technically on this day. But, you know, can't do that. Also, big reminder as well is after this day, guys, pick up Metal Ape.
I gotcha.
Kind of important.
We kind of always forget that.
Yeah,
It's the single most important parts pickup in the game.
because it's actually the final.
Yes.
There is no more parts generator trips. If you do touch the parts generator after this day, like 3 or 4 days down the line, you lose like a minute or 2 worth of watching text boxes or item boxes or whatever comes up. Oh, there.
Here is the first 2v2 fight of the game.
You guys are actually probably 5 seconds apart from each other right now.
Yeah.
So
I'll do my best to explain what's going on in 2v2 fights, but they are a lot harder to see exactly what you're doing. So yellow and green are our opponents in 4-player fights. You can press Y to toggle who you're targeting. Usually you'll want to target somebody not targeting you because they kind of like to stand in the background and do nothing.
yeah. Also, yeah, the dialogue choices. The third option is always snark.
Yeah, there's like one of them is you basically call Harry a jerk. One of them you don't. You're like, who are you again? Like all of the third dialogue options are hilarious, but we don't pick them because it just it causes the tutorial text to repeat. Also, I got charged. Yeah. This fight is going atrociously.
Yeah, so basically, on Ghost's side, you can basically see blue. Harry is currently walking around.
Doing nothing, as
and
always.
Of course, if you look on Stinger's side now...
Harry actually did some work on my end.
He is,
Metal Ape down to 500.
He's standing behind walls. And later there's a character called Roy, who has a Magnum, which is not a long-range weapon, who will fight just like this, and think he's doing something. And to me, he's the most aggravating character. But yeah,
I still maintain that Roy is better than Harry.
That's scum.
Sergei's a scum. There you go. Yeah, basically, Waltz is a damage sponge, and same with Metal Ape. Or sorry, Waltz. Sorry. Was it
Waltz
Dowerhead?
Robo.
Yeah.
Dowerhead, whose Japanese name translates roughly to pleasure head.
Yep.
Dowerhead kind of has a face only a mother could love, so Dowerhead is a bit of an odd. It's a better name, honestly.
Honestly, I prefer
dour
referring to it.
I still call it pleasure face sometimes.
Yeah, by accident, but.
All right, so we have solved the home dilemma. So we're getting a call to go to. Yeah, we're getting a call to go by the nearby coffee shop, which is called Bogey's, because apparently a wanted criminal was found there, and we would get a sizable bounty for apprehending him. We get the phone call, and Harry's like, "Wait, how does the boss know that this guy is there?" It's like, "I was there. Why didn't you do anything about it?" "Because I love my coffee." Anyway, this is evil. He's a jerk.
He's not evil, actually. He's
He
actually
also
a
has
pretty
a
cool
laugh.
guy.
He has a good evil laugh.
He has the best laugh. And if you mash text fast enough in Grand Battle, you can make a double or triple laugh sometimes. And it sounds so amazing.
So, Evil also has his own bounty hunting company, and they already apprehended the criminal. So,
Again,
we go back to the office. The boss is ticked off, and turns out he was just busy in the corner writing poems and drinking coffee. So as soon as they call him out for that, the boss is like, "Well, job well done, everybody."
Oh, so Stinger, Metal Ape.
Yes.
I haven't picked up Metal Ape myself
No,
either.
you will, and yeah. But the thing is, at this point, if you progress and you go to Bogey's Cafe, you will do a fight essentially with Rayo 1, which will
A
cost you a lot
doubles
of time
fight.
because you'll get downed very easily in the fight with Evil and his partner. Bubbles, I believe, or Bubble.
We'll just call him Bubbles. It's funnier.
Yeah, I think his actual name is Bubble, but then there's
Yeah, I
Delpha
don't know why.
for the other crony. So I saw Stinger try to go to Steel Hearts there.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah,
So I just picked up. Oh god, gone.
No, I was gonna say is basically the game locks you out more or less of everywhere where you're not supposed to go. It's a very linear game, and every once in a while you can go to a place and talk to one other person. But it's like if you're supposed to go to Steel Hearts, nothing else you can really interact except for Steel Hearts or whatever. And you get a phone call since you're mashing and not paying attention to the text because we're speedrunners. You don't realize that you actually have to go to the Chinese restaurant, which oddly enough they have in this city world, which is confusing. We'll get on that more later for why it's confusing they even have restaurants.
So the deal with this cutscene is a man just died. They don't know why, but he died in this Chinese restaurant. He was killed by an autonomous robo, which means it was functioning on its own and killed a man. So it's a little fishy. And the Chinese food restaurant guy actually called bounty hunters because he didn't want to run the risk of the police taking down his restaurant.
Yeah, which is a normal thing to do.
People in this game are not like good people. Let's be honest.
No, they're really not. I think the only person who actually has like the straight and narrow probably is Marcia or Marcia, however you want to pronounce it. Legs, Miku, whatever other nicknames we have for her. She's probably the only one who actually legitimately does not try to screw people over. So I think you guys both got Metal Ape, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I grabbed Metal Ape. This will be the last customization of any % new journey.
Yeah.
Golden Ape.
I have completed the worst menus in the history of speedrunning.
The menus are actually pretty responsive. We just don't practice them.
Yeah, there's so few menus that it's almost not even worth it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Grand Battle, it's very fun because there's single-use tournaments where you have to keep altering your stuff.
Yeah, that it actually is worthwhile. Practice.
Yeah, but this one is from Rayo 1 to Metal Ape is 2 right. Standard to 3-way is 1 down. Standard Bomb S is 2 down on that menu. Long thrust legs is 1 right and 1 up to get to long thrust.
We get it. You've memorized the menus.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you have to do that
Oops.
really quick. And my controller is dying, so probably during my run you will see the quality of my menuing. It's not because I don't know where things are, it's because I am playing with a half-broken control, essentially, at this point.
Yeah, so as this is the first fight with Metal Ape, kind of to explain Metal Ape as a robo, Metal Ape is bulky and a little bit immobile, although we're able to get by this with the long thrust leg parts.
He almost becomes too mobile.
Yeah, he gets a very long mid-air dash. The biggest problem with Metal Ape, though, is Metal Ape has a terrible charge. We occasionally will use it for invincibility frames, like on a defensive play, but for the most part, it's just the gun for the rest of the run, because three-way gun in point blank range is really overpowered.
Yeah,
To be
plus
fair,
Metal Ape does more damage.
I will argue. Yeah, he does do more damage with the gun as well. I think it's like 5 or 10%. It's something which is distinguishable, but not really noticeable for casual play overall. Yeah, see, Delphi's right. The charge is really good because I'm one of the very few runners of this game who actually uses the charge quite frequently. Also, there's one character model in this place that is never seen of again, which happens quite a lot in this game sometimes. Yeah, nothing suspicious about the blue-haired guy wearing a mask. Pay no attention to him. So should we talk about this game's obsession with having tournaments?
We can get on that in a bit. This arena is the first that actually introduces lava. If you ever walk over lava, you automatically get down. You get shot way up in the air, and it does about 100 plus damage. Most damage scales depending on your Robo. Like, there's these really small models that run around really fast. The Little Raider model.
Yep.
Those get down if you so much as breathe on them.
Yeah, actually, one bullet from any gun will down them.
Other than oil can, which is the joke weapon of this game.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to oil can.
Yeah.
My enemy decided to run onto the magma tiles to finish it off.
That's always convenient.
Yeah.
Dang, my run's not going great so far. Yeah, so most of Metal Ape is just, trying to stay really close to your opponent so that you can get the majority of shots off from your gun.
Mm. Yeah, point blank three-way is the entire reason that we use it.
Oh, Drac, there will never be an oil can percent showcase. I'll do bad ending, but I'm not doing the full game.
Yeah, so with this tournament, it's in an illegal gambling rink behind the coffee shop because the boss is good friends with the guy who owns this place. He's like, it's fine. We're not going to report you to the police or anything. So my opponent here is our next-door neighbor who insists that he's trying to earn a bit of money on the side to feed his family. He's trying to win the pity thing. Turns out he just needs a toupee because he's, there's a guy in his 40s. It's that time of a midlife crisis when somebody, might be concerned about their hair.
You're making an old joke.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, we're making a wall joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crusader, we wanted to start off a little small with the community showcase just because we only really had like one day. I only really had one day to set aside for this initially when I, requested the time. In the future, it would be kind of cool to be able to show off more games in the series, but for now, this is mainly just a showcase of this one, which has the largest community of the series.
Yeah. Although now, actually, to be fair, this is like the one battle that Ghost King Stinger coming up on with Harry. We're probably already on, judged by stream delay, by the time we get to this. This feels good if you do it right. You can beat the crap out of Harry, because I think this is the final time you fight him. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, so you see me using the AB technique to, jump and shoot at the same time, causing Harry to go upwards and towards me rather than away from me. If you just shoot at somebody on the ground, they're going to go flying away from you. So it's a little subtle piece of tech that not a lot of people are immediately aware of.
Yeah, because every gun in the game, in its description at least, will say they vary from aerial shots and ground shots. And one NPC, I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes through the speedrun-ish or so, he will say, if you push, basically jump and shoot together, you can do essentially a quick aerial shot. That's the only time they tell you in the game. Like, if you actually read all the help text, you get really good at this game. They're actually really good advice. But after playing it a couple times, you get really sick and want to mash through it really quickly. Which is a shame, because the writing is obviously really good as well. But, speed.
So this is Shiner. He's been basically destroying these tournaments here, and because it's been so one-sided, everyone just bets on him. So we were actually hired to take this guy out, and wow, I'm having a really good Shiner fight. His model likes to go around the world.
Yep. Yeah,
Darn, I'm not able to get past. There we go.
The optimal thing to do with Shiner is you try to stay close to him and just constantly bombard him with three-way shots, which Ghosting is doing wonderfully.
You also want to make sure you follow up with his movements. Like as soon as you see where he's going, you want to dash straight for him and shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they make mention of this thing called the Z Syndicate, which sounds like an evil organization. I assume they're not going to have any presence in the story. No.
Nah.
So besides, it's pronounced Zed.
Canadians.
Fine. So everyone gets up and leaves because Shiner made off, and Marcia takes note of the blue-haired gent.
She also has blue hair. Surely no connection.
Yeah, I mean, one of the few things of backstory they give is that her parents died, and so she was kind of raised. She kind of grew up together with her older brother. Spoiler. Anyways, Drex said something along the lines of full series run next. That would be kind of nice if the Game Boy Advance game wasn't utter garbage. The Game Boy Advance Custom Robo is actually awful.
Don't they literally have a trash robot in it too?
I think so.
Like, because we have oil can in this one. I'm pretty sure they had like that trash one that Fire uses for his Discord server, I think.
That's not home. I'm accidentally wandering.
So on
no.
Stinger's side, you get to see how much of a demerit it is to choose the wrong option at the end of day.
Yeah, it eats up around 15 seconds, and you feel bad because you get so used to A/B mashing, which is you alternate between A and B, which is the fastest way to mash. But certain prompts you don't want to mash B during.
No, I actually realized what he was saying. He walked into the test hall instead of home.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So here we have to talk to everybody. If you talk to this girl again, she's like, "Hey, can I have your watch?" And the main character, "What the heck? I don't even know you."
Oh, so Sophie also has blue hair, so we possibly think she may be related to
No,
Sergei
because
Marcia.
no, she has dark blue hair. Marcia has cyan.
Oh,
Well, it's not dark blue, but like in the
indigo.
character portraits, whatever colors. All right, so this kid has a seal head, which is one of the funnier looking robos. It's also really fun to beat up.
It is ridiculously fun to beat up this child. Because you're.
There's a reason my split name for this fight is beating up children is fun.
Yeah, because
Steelhead
is Damage Sponge at the best of times.
That was actually the main robot I used in casual play.
Same here. Darn, wow. I had a good chance for about 100 more damage, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, my casual robot was Magnum and Javelin, because Javelin has a beyond broken dash. You can charge
Stamen has no
6 times?
iframes.
Yeah, it doesn't have iframes, but you can hit 6 times in a row. You're versing someone one-on-one. It's fun.
I like his arena. It's very colorful. Except for the train. Except for the train.
Yeah, the
God,
train.
my voice is cracking.
Oh wow.
So they closed down the Chinese food restaurant anyway, so this guy's trying to make a little money to keep himself afloat. It's a common thing, people trying to make money, even though he doesn't realize this tournament is free. And his restaurant is a giant Chinese bowl, and his model is kind of interesting looking. I actually really like this model. I think it's the Shrike, is it called?
No,
Or
Peregrine.
Peregrine. Sorry. There's a few models. All the models have like all their names is kind of themed after something. Like this model is really fast in the ground, and they're all named after little birds. Like one's called a Swift, one's a Shrike, and one's a Peregrine.
Yeah. Javelin, Glaive, and Halberd is another variation.
All pole arm weapons.
Yeah.
Metal Ape, Metal Ox, Metal Bear.
Metals.
Yeah, which kind of carries over into something else. All the models in this game are sort of grouped into threes. like Rayo 1, and then there's 2 models called Splendor and Glory. They're all similar, but they have like slight variations on stats, and they all have their own unique charge abilities. So this girl is Mary. We saw her at the park on day 2.
She's a jerk.
She's basically asking everyone at this. She's basically asking everyone at this tournament, like, she'll go on a date with them if they forfeit their match against her. But and the main character actually gets kind of tempted, but ultimately thou must.
Harry says no. But also, she has freeze pods.
Yeah, so those just freeze you in place, but they don't down you. They're pods.
Pods, yeah. And they waste a lot of time.
Yeah, because they don't quite down you, so you don't get the rebirth frames, which we haven't really mentioned rebirth. After you get down, you get a few invincibility frames of rebirth. It's a pretty simple thing to explain.
Yeah, and basically, it's normally 1.5 seconds, really, at most. I don't think it varies between Robos. I think rebirth is always the same, except for Rahu 3 and 2, I think.
Yeah, 2 is faster.
Yeah, but everyone else kind of has the same amount of...
Shut up. I like that text.
Frames. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, oh man.
No. I
like
wouldn't
you
say
very
that,
much,
dude.
Is it because I got a sub 215?
No, it's because you pronounce it Zed.
I am
that's fair.
Canadian, so I will say different pronunciations. The correct ones.
Nice, killing himself. Herself.
Yeah, Mary, Dawn, and Marcia
I'm getting wrecked.
are the 3 fights actually in this one day I fear for my runs. Because there's so much RNG in them.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thankfully Evil's pretty consistent. His robot's a damage sponge, despite not being a big model.
I appreciate the fact that Mary killed herself with the freeze pod, so she stayed up in the air the entire ending sequence for Stinger's side.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, Evil is he's not as difficult as before because he doesn't have his little bodyguard, and he can be annoying with his. I think it's his bombs that down in 1 hit, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
we're in the tourney finals against Marcia. She's actually quite competent, which
She
is
is.
kind of which is actually mentioned in the story. Is her goal is to try and get an A rank license so that she can become a police officer to look for her brother.
But it's very expensive, and the pay stinks after all.
Yep. The most important thing to note about working at a small-time bounty hunting company is the pay stinks.
Oh wow, Evil was very kind to you at the end there, Stinger. Just
Yes.
dash right in, ignored you, and
Just setting
Okay,
it up
cool.
right there.
yeah, nice of him. Yeah, there actually is a lot of lore. Don't worry, we'll get to that when it decides to all come down at once.
Oh my god.
This game is a little infamous for that.
Yeah, I actually have a breakdown of text boxes per day. There's actually a section alone for just a dump of text.
So this text prompt coming up here is one of the few that I will manually slow down for our options here, for dialogue options.
Yeah,
To
basically,
answer the first 2 answers, you have to sit through like a couple of seconds of just nothing. So it's faster to just wait and slowly press the bottom option. In which case, you promote your business. Like, my
You're
company
supposed to.
deserves all the credit. And then everyone else there just gets really awkward, and then Harry just like kind of winces, and he's just, I'm kind of glad I didn't win now.
see what annoys me though is Steel Hearts was supposed to win the tournament. The finals was between 2 people in Steel Hearts. I would love to, so you can forfeit the final match and then progress the story, but you can't. You have to be undefeated in this game. There is no shortcuts to early deaths or anything.
So on day 7, we get called into the lab by Linda, the lab director we saw earlier. But they try and like make look all, you know, sexy and attractive, but because the GameCube is
The walk cycle.
still a relatively high polygon count console comparative to what we have nowadays, it kind of just doesn't come off right.
Also, everyone has knee up reveal shots, even evil.
Pretty much.
For whatever reason, they really enjoy that transition of revealing a character when everyone is unique, basically, and you already see evil like 4 times in the game. So, okay. But yeah, now it's just going to be a lot of talking. He has to talk to everyone in the lab from right to left, ending with Harry. Trying to see.
Fortunately, it's not everybody outside the lab, too.
Yeah. It's just the people inside. You have to talk to Evil. Don't forget that one. That's a time loss if you don't.
I assume you've done this before, Shawnee.
No, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there's like 2 lab technicians in chairs that oddly blend in. That if you're trying to do this for the first time, you might ignore them. And it's just... Yeah. Go for it.
Oh yeah, so basically what's going on is mysterious figures have been seen at night around the lab, which is why Linda hired 2 bounty hunting companies. Kind of just, basically, we need to figure out what's going on here, which is why you talk to everyone. So now we decided we'd do a stakeout and hang out at the lab until late at night to see what's going on. So naturally the first place you go to is this door in the back of this room. And as soon as you talk to it, you hear glass break, so back to the hub of the lab. So it's broken, but we don't see anybody here. Evil says so they might have set up a bomb in here, so he stands around while we start looking for it. So we need to go over to this bookcase and then talk to Marcia, and that happens to be the plot trigger. That happens to be the trigger to actually initiate the next sequence of this scenario.
Yeah, plus also the nighttime is just this kind of a dark filter over the game. Minus text boxes. Like they didn't do anything otherwise. All the lights are technically still on.
So this guy's name is Z Lackey. I wonder if that has any connection to Z Syndicate.
Nah.
Probably the Z Syndicate, though.
Darn it, Shawnee. You ruin everything.
I do. But yeah, basically they have a couple of factions, and I think after you beat the first one, they say the leader of this, or one of the parts of this faction, I think. Okay, chair, don't break.
Oops. Wow. See, this fight's a good example of why we use Metal Ape. Metal Ape can take an entire full round of Gatling gun without being knocked down. Which, the Gatling gun is one of the more annoying guns to deal with if you're trying to play this game fast.
Yeah, and it comes up actually quite frequently, which is super annoying. But yeah, I'm trying to think what other weapons are annoying. Because there's the Gatling gun, there's shotgun, Magnum, of course. Hornet gun.
Bees.
Yeah, bees.
We'll get into bees later.
Yeah. Obviously, the boss's weapons and stuff, and especially his pods. Holy moly, his pods are so annoying.
Yes.
They're the same. Every time you verse a variant of the end boss, his pods are never nerfed. They're always the same. And it is super annoying because it is overpowered. Our links had an RPG limit chat. Why would you be asking that if we're talking about bees?
In jokes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of this, to bring in jokes to the rest of the community.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I've made Ghost King on 2 marathons now say I love Robo battles out of nowhere.
Yeah, Paige was asking me about that at RPG Limit Break. I'm like, the guy who donated is from another community. She's like, okay then.
It's completely out of nowhere on a Mario RPG run. So I love Robo battles. Okay. But that's coming up in 2 days on this game. Yeah, they're pretty much on each other, more or less. Well, big.
So this is the first fight in the game with the shotgun.
Yeah, this is where you want to use standard bomb S.
Awful.
You want to use standard bomb S because the thing is but unfortunately, it's also a strike vanisher, which teleports around. It's very hard to follow, and it's just one of the worst experiences to try to get right. If it goes right, awesome. If it doesn't, oh man, everything's bad.
Yeah. So as you see, shotgun knocks me down instantly.
Plus, it took him 0 time to get to the other side of the map, which is only fun.
Yep. Also, this map has ice on the ground, ice physics on the ground, which is not fun to deal with. Because you actually do want to move around on the ground a decent amount to set yourself right underneath your opponents.
Yeah, I've considered using the, I think it's feather legs that we have at this point, just to help in ground movement, but the extra mobility from just being across the entire map in one air dash is too good for the long thrust legs.
And constantly changing your parts does eat up your time. Most fights will take between 35 to 50 seconds. So,
right, yeah, for singles.
If you take 10 seconds to change parts, then that eats up time over the course of a run.
Yeah, and as I did do some very brief testing yesterday to see if there was any distinctive load time differences between Wii and GameCube, and I didn't see any.
So this is Eliza. She's kind of the one in charge of this whole raid on the lab. She's also very evil looking.
Also, you should, if you ever want to goof around, choose the runaway option. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, you run away seeing your coworker kind of on the ground, like clutching her knee. And you try and run away, but you come back and you're just like, I can't do it, I can't abandon my coworker. Also, this is the first character who has illegal parts. Essentially, illegal parts are more overpowered variants of existing parts, although, as we've made mention, the three-way gun is still really, really powerful, even in comparison to certain illegal parts.
Yeah.
Most of them. And then there's things like Crystal Strike.
Which is a wonderful gun. Totally balanced. Nothing wrong with it at all. I'm not saying that because we actually found a use for it in Grand Battle.
Alright, so we've basically prevented something from getting stolen at the lab.
Actually, you're both going to basically be sub 1 hour Eliza, so that's a really good pace on going.
I remember when sub 1 Eliza was like
the dream.
A really good run.
You found a Canadian.
Alright. Good Eliza fight.
I almost took the walk of shame, but yeah, so we got a very angry call from the boss, because apparently an autonomous Robo is wreaking havoc in the cafe here. And this is where the game really starts to kind of get dark.
Yeah, they also forgot they were supposed to have a story really as well, and there's a lot more heavy text all of a sudden being dumped on the player.
Yeah, it's kind of just fun going around doing your little adventure, and then there's an autonomous Robo who can kill people, as in actually kill people through Robo battles. Although
it can't, because I've actually stood in front of the gun while he's shooting and he doesn't do anything to the player. So it's only an animation, and also the other goofy thing is during the screen transition, for the first 2 parts of it, before it reveals Rahu, who is a pirate, and he's weird. But basically, you don't hear the gunshots, and only on the 3rd transition do you start hearing the gunshots. So they're very, very, very short-range bullets.
So this is Rahu. He's like an enhanced, souped-up version of like other Robos. He's got a lot of armor, and he can fly around the map like really far. Also, if you're gonna speedrun this game, appreciate this version of Rahu 1. There is a refight against this much later, which is kind of considered the midpoint end boss. in the sense that it's really tough to do well.
If there's going to be any point in the game which is going to guarantee new runners dying, it's going to be the Rahu 1 refight, not this one. This one might get someone.
I'm still worried about dying to this one sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, compared to the refight, there's no comparing the difficulty strength between both of them. Although what's annoying is how much he likes to travel around the world with his, because it's technically a Lightning Sky model, right?
Sort of.
Variant.
I think it is.
A variant with actual defense, because Lightning Skies are usually really, they like to fly around really far, but they also die or get down really quickly.
Yeah, but this
also,
battle...
this arena is the same as Marcia's. I wonder why. I keep wanting to say Marcia, but you guys keep giving me crap for it, so I try and say Marcia, but then like I say something in between and it just doesn't work.
Nice. That was a good Rahu 1 fight.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It actually was. I wish I could get one like that normally. Normally, even on my runs, he will gallivant off and have fun in the other side of the arena by himself. He's a jerk. Bombs are great for picking up... Oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, gosh.
Go for it.
This guy likes to fly around the world, as well as he has a gun called, I think, Eagle, and it delays and then just like charges straight at you. It's very, very difficult to dodge, and it has a weird timing.
Yeah, I was gonna say is bombs are great for picking up like KOs at the end, because there is damage scaling in this game as well. So your combos don't always do the same amount. It'll eventually get lower and lower and lower. It's I think the Standard Bomb S, no matter what, will do about 30 damage if you finish a combo with it. So it's a good way to get cheap damage. It is a little bit quicker than the gun if you're going to be using it to finish off the opponent.
So somebody makes mention, was it ever explained why everything in this world leads to fighting with toy robots? Nope, duels decide everything. That's pretty much this game.
Yu-Gi-Oh! With robots.
Yep. All forms of law enforcement, all forms of criminal activity, everything is done via robo battles. They do make mention that that there is a setting on your robo to actually hurt other people. Essentially, you turn safe mode off, is what they say.
Which doesn't actually come into gameplay.
Nope.
Kind of, sort of, not really does.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
You turn it off once you fight not old lady. Once you fight the husband and wife, and they never turn it back on until like the last day for some reason.
But the one thing which I love about this game, when you're doing a speedrun, is you can tell when battles go really well without looking at a timer.
Because they just feel really good. You take very little to no damage, and you're just able to get off a ton of damage really quickly. But
it's the best sound when you're doing the 80% run is the close range through a gunshot. It screws up your audio levels on this game's very, very loud for the record. And the
trying to audio balance this game is a task unto itself.
So shout out to General Viper.
Speaking of which, if the game is too loud on the stream, let us know.
Yeah.
I think
so. These NPCs on the side here are gone. The NPCs on the side here are great because they say, "I'm just a nameless NPC who's here to fill the roster." I don't even think they gave me a name. If you look at the top left bracket during the tournament, it's quite funny because it's just 4 nameless NPCs. At one point, they can't even recognize each other. They're like, "Am I on the same team as I started on?" Also, trying to get to this prompt here is annoying.
Oh, so I did kill one of my runs here when I was trying to talk to Will in the bottom right. I did talk to the parts generator by accident. It is the talking circles that you're supposed to, or the talking areas that you can talk to people, is so generous. But it contributes to the parts generator in a couple parts too. You really got to be careful where you're walking.
What? Ah, darn! I meant to jump, not air dash. Darn. Wow, this fight had a really good start, and then just I choked it. This fight in my PB went so good. It's so hard to keep up on this fight. So now we're getting into a day full of 2v2 fights. It is very easy to lose at least one fight here if you're not careful.
This
Especially
is
the
the
fight
hardest day
after.
that's not day 12.
I'd say day 10 would be the hardest day.
Which one is day 10?
Ice license
Oh,
exam.
okay. Well, that's just because of one fight. The rest aren't
No.
too bad as far as going fast.
We all kind of have our own like parts that challenge each of us, except the final boss. The final boss is
Is agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the worst.
unanimous
Yeah.
agreement. The final boss of this game is rough.
Yeah, and there's beautiful runs which have just gone straight down the toilet because of Rahu 3. Although to be fair, Rahu 3 isn't that bad once you do know his movement, his attacks, and whatever. On 80% or even on New Game Plus percent, which is using the entire roster of the weapons. Let's face it, only the start or the very selected little bit of weapons that actually do use a New Game Plus run because you never touched the customization screen. It's fine, but if you're unfamiliar with anything in this game, it can catch you off guard really quickly as well. Like there's a lot of time potential lost in this game for just being unaware of what kind of Robo moves which way, which air dashes they have, if there's a charge, I have a lot of invincibility frames, or anything along those lines as well. There's a lot of variables that aren't really shown until you're actually aware of them.
Yeah, things you really start to pick up on the more you run the game. Otherwise, it's just a ton of Robo battles.
Yeah.
There's
And
64
looks-
total fights in a story mode run of this game, so that's the bulk of the run.
And then 66 if you miss Drac Skip.
And then more than that if you're bad at the maze.
Oh yeah. 'Cause my first ever run of this game was 247, I think.
Yeah, most people start off in the 240 to 3 hour range with
Yeah.
with this game.
Like, it's to be fair, I say it a lot, sorry, but I know Ghost Kid's probably cringing when I tell me off for that too. But to put it otherwise, the game honestly is short. Like it is a good pick up and play game to see how fast you can do it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it is possible to do in just easily a 4-hour sitting.
This was a great rental as a kid.
This was the easiest 12-hour challenge I ever did.
Yeah, I actually helped Delphi actually do it for a 12-hour challenge.
But yeah, so there's kind of some interesting things that go on in this day. Like we just fought the two guys from the park. So it turns out after getting dumped, they started hanging out and realized they had a lot in common. And then once you beat them, they're like, "Man, that's disappointing to lose. Hey, you want to go to the park and beat each other up again?" Sure thing. They start laughing, and Harry just says, "These guys are weird."
They are.
Harry has so much snark. It's one of the few redeeming qualities of him is he has just so much snark to say about about everyone in this game. It's like this game does not take itself serious. Like it sometimes takes itself seriously, but the localizers I think realize this game sometimes takes it too seriously and kind of brought a lot of lightheartedness to
They
the
could have.
text.
I'm glad this game released when it did. Like 5 years down the road, it would have been like dark and edgy, and all this other stuff, and it would have been weird. But it's like this is a weird time period. I think it's like 2004 or something.
Something like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that.
where things were allowed to be lighthearted with dealing with the apocalypse and stuff like that. Spoiler warning for that.
All right, best fight in the game. No, it's the husband and wife. Never mind, it's the next one
Yeah.
that I'm looking for. So the two of them come by to try and get money. So that the husband wants a toupee and the wife wants a handbag. By the way, her name is Carmen. They say that her name is Carmen right there.
After 9 days.
After 9 days, she finally has a name.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she wants a handbag and the husband wants a toupee. So they get into an argument, and once they get angry, they're like, "I'm angry. Let's take it out on these guys." And Harry's just like, "Why us?" So again, we fight a Dowerhead. I think you fight Dowerhead something like 4 or 5 times in this game. And it's always
Yeah.
fun because it's just it's such an easy robot to bully. Just stand right behind it. Oh wow, I got charged. You stand right behind it and just unload tons of shots. I should make mention of one thing that's really nice about this game is because of the arena style, they make all gunfire and whatnot have a lock-on feature. Whenever you fire, if you tap R to throw a bomb, it locks on to the nearest enemy. Although bombs do have a travel time, so they might not be where you aimed at. So knowing how to effectively use bombs is an important tactic of this game. Okay, that fight went down.
Yellow pointer.
Alright, Robo Battles time.
Yep.
Most important text box in the game.
Which is why Ghost can keep saying it all these other marathons.
Yep. It's kind of a throwaway prompt, actually. Basically, you're talking quiet about basically Bogey wants to attract people to his illegal gambling ring through this tournament, and then Harry says they're gonna get suspicious if they see us talking so quietly. It's like we need to act not suspicious, and then the waiter's like, how do we do that? And he's just like, I love Robo Battles. And so that's kind of become the slogan of the community is I love Robo Battles.
No, we love Robo Battles.
We love Robo Battles.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, I mean, depending on context.
Yeah. And truthfully, after versing Rahu 3, your opinion might change slightly.
Yeah, Rahu isn't technically a Robo. Spoilers. In case you can't tell, we don't really care that much about spoilers. This game's plot's silly.
Yeah.
It is silly. They do a good thing for the story, but it's not going to be a revolutionary story. It's not going to be your Final Fantasy VII. It's not going to be, the opera scene from Final Fantasy. It's a story that is justified by how goofy it is, and it's decent. It's nothing more than that, but it's a good story though. But again, I don't know how many runs have you guys done of this game now?
I don't know. I have to check my. Oh wow.
Not
Wow. My apologies. It seems like my my capture card screwed up. This is why you don't run with an Elgato.
Shoutouts to me running with Elgato for the next run.
Oops. I think probably I ended up accidentally dislodging one of my cables.
We'll be right back.
Huh, darn it. Let me fix this here in a second. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. I think my cable's kind of messed up.
hard to fix technical issues during speedruns.
Loading all those
Yeah,
saves.
this game is pretty much nonsense.
The yellow guy still has 1,000 health. What have you been doing, Harry?
There you go. Harry has 311, or sorry, not 300, 822 health. Yeah, Harry is a wonderful, wonderful partner. That's the really annoying thing is if you get a good time, it's probably because your partners actually were good, which is something you can't guarantee on for other runs. And you can see actually how many times Stinger's getting hit by bombs that aren't from the opponent in that last little part too. I think I counted 5 in the last little bit of the match because Harry doesn't care.
So you can't see it on my end because I'm doing it. So he's just about to start the Mira and Roy fight, which is actually one of the more annoying fights in the game. It's surprisingly easy to die if Harry's not cooperative. Alrighty. Let's get...
Yeah, this is one where you want them to both focus Harry to play chicken, and you can just stand behind them and just three-way gunshot nonstop. That's the best strat you can go for here.
Yeah, but it never happens that way.
Just asking if you want to swap the audio to your...
It's mine's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
Ghosting back.
Cool.
Sorry about that. It's hard to swap audio. Stinger's doing the restreaming, which, again, shoutouts and thanks to Stinger for doing this. Originally, I was gonna do it, and my setup was not great, especially now that I had to join in the race. I was basically the backup, so I'm filling in. Okay, so oopsies. So I'm on the fight afterwards, the evil fight. Harry basically wants Marcia to liven up a bit, because
She's too mopey.
she got really mopey after seeing blue-haired man again.
And also figure out he's a criminal.
So she's kind of just been hanging off to the side, moping, and Harry just goes up to her and says, "Hey, you want to join in the tournament?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Cool." And he calls the ref or the TO saying, "Hey, I'm feeling sick. Can I swap partners?" "Sure." And then they swap Marcia into it.
Which should
clearly
validate the entire tournament.
She clearly doesn't want. She
technicalities.
clearly doesn't want to. But she's basically moping because of her past with her brother, and it's canonically established that she has special abilities, but those lead her to have extreme emotional problems. So she just tends to get very mopey very quickly. And so Harry basically says, "You need to face facts. Your brother's gone." And she kind of just thinks to herself, "Okay."
So, bees?
Alright, so this fight has Linda, whose gun is the Hornet gun, which we refer to as bees. Bees. Beesbees.com.
There you go. Ask me posted. Yeah, basically, the strategy here is get rid of Linda as fast as possible.
Yeah, Hornets are long range and swarm. Naturally, they are Hornets.
Yeah, but we just call them bees. Just so many bees. If you let her get away from you, this is one of the most aggravating fights to lose time on. Because she will wall you completely. Because I think 5 Hornets will actually down the Metal Ape too.
I don't think that we will, but it's close.
It's close. She can down you, and maybe just conjunction with Ernest with the sniper gun because he's a jerk. Oh wow, you got very lucky at the end there, Ghost King.
I did.
Marcia actually is playing a good role. She has 1,000 health at the end too.
Yeah, so she's kind of livened up, and we have won the tournament.
But it's not the end of the day.
Everyone is kind of left, so we don't really get to show off our bounty hunting company. So Harry invites us over for dinner. It's kind of a...
Okay.
Basically, we have a good time. The whole point of this is to really elaborate on the main character's watch, who he was given by his father at the very, very beginning of the game.
Yeah, and it's
He was told never to give it to anybody, essentially.
Well, we were bound to have one game over.
Ooh, that's
oh
unfortunate.
dear.
I got targeted by Linda and Ernest for the entire start of the fight.
This actually shows how fast things can change as well.
Yes, the text in this game is, well, we still call it Banjo-Kazooie speak because everyone has the
That burp, 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 burp sound.
Yeah.
Wow, Ernest was a jerk when he wins. Wow. So, Stinger gets to see more bees for now. Oh, the thing is with this game is if you struggle on one battle, if you lose, you'll somehow do really good the second time. Like, it's always like this one random instance of really strong AI, and then it goes away.
Can I just say there's a slight irony to A person named Stinger losing a fight to Hornets. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I have to make that joke.
I mean, it's a good point.
Alright, so the chief calls us over to the police office to test us, and he has all of us do a fight against everybody here, which is Roy, Mira, and 2 generic police officers.
Don't forget my little clip I found.
Oh god, don't even remind me of the fanfic reading.
Yeah,
That was just bad. That was just bad.
You look up bad fanfics of the Custom Robo series. And
I'm surprised they exist.
I'm not. It's the internet.
True.
To be fair, the game does get randomly strike AI every now and then. Every once in a while, you'll fight a fight you've done 100 or 200 times, at least for me, and you'll get wrecked once just for no reason. Oh, see, yeah, the portraits are all good in this game too. They actually have good art.
They're very expressive. There's a reason why I have 5 different faces from this game as Fricker Face Z emotes. 3 of them being earnest.
None of them can ever match Shiny Hype.
That's from the Nintendo Power comic, which we've talked about. The artwork for it is not great, but the biggest sin is the fact that Ernest only has 2 appearances, and he appears in the art twice, and one of them is that face.
Yeah, and it's really even more unfortunate as well because it has nothing to do with Custom Robos. It was just a 3-part comic, and it just didn't do anything.
So it's kind of neat actually. Both of these police officers make note of the fact that before every fight, Harry tells you information. So they're like, "Hey, that's cheating. You're giving out tips." But I heard all of it. Oh darn! I got the 6. That's always bad.
I think everyone hates looking at Harry's face after what he does to his partner.
I just look forward to whenever he's not my partner.
Shouts to like 3 battles in the game. So you have the first Marcia fight, and day 9, 2 Roy fights. I think that's it, really. Yeah, everything.
There's the 3v1 against Obero, and 2v1 against Rahu 2.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, there's 5 instances where you don't have Harry as a partner for double battles.
So one of these police officers makes mention he was actually the winner of the singles tournament because they held a doubles and a singles tournament. But he makes a comment about it's like, geez, was the singles tournament that weak? I should probably mention that Linda's model is a lightning sky, which means it likes to fly around a lot. But
Yeah.
it looks very different from the other 2. The other 2 are kind of more robotic looking, whereas hers looks like a bird. It's a really cool looking Robo. It's one of my favorite designs in the game.
So we have roughly, because this is day 10, so
Yes.
out of 12. Day 12 is freakishly long. So despite being 10 out of 12, you're not even close to being done the game, which is super annoying.
There's my 1 pod for this entire run.
Yeah, no, Linda's not a aerial beauty, because aerial beauties are the ones that jump multiple times in the air. And yeah, basically, her AI is basically jump and then do the little light in the sky flying thing and just spam hornets. That's it.
Oh god.
Oh, my brother said, "Hey, good luck on stuff and stuff." So, thanks for your contribution there, David. Calling you out. Although, to be fair, Linda's not that difficult without Ernest backing.
Yeah, most of the 1v1 fights are much easier than the 2v2 fights. For the simple reason, as we said, our AI tends to be useless, and their AI has a tendency to gang up on us. Like, any 2v2 fight is generally not super difficult, but the fact that sometimes you can just get, bad luck and lose a fight against far inferior AI does pose problems for the run.
Oh, Stinger was so close to getting that thing in the lava there.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the one thing I will use Metal Ape for, is if I've used the charge way more than I should, because everyone agrees it's bad. It's for me and Delphi, basically. But with the long thrust legs, you can use the charge, air dash back towards the enemy after it falls down and do a close range 3-way shot. And
Oh god.
it's good. But you can also launch enemies into lava if you know exactly how they will move.
I like how your brother comes into chat. So, although Harry and Marcia get 4 fights that they both win for this whole session, we get 6 for some reason.
Because you're the main character, and I probably guess you had a bandana initially. They were jealous.
I appreciate that they didn't keep the bandana from the Japanese version. It's so long, it's practically a mini cape.
I try and post a link to the image of it if you want. While you guys are doing these battles. I try to find it. He doesn't have a name character. Main character. Bandana.
He has no canonical name.
It says hero. Actually, yeah, even in Grand Battle, it goes up to Hero's house.
Yep, they still call the character's house Hero's house, even though you have a name.
Here we go. Get the direct link to this one.
Darn, I thought I was gonna get her there. The really annoying thing is sometimes when they're really low, you kind of play a little less smart than you should. Like, if they're at 4 HP, you just think, I'm gonna stand still and fire a gun. But then they move behind a wall over and over again, and you end up wasting time anyways. At least I do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
We all do
So
that.
we very seldomly use the charge attack because the charge attack, while strong damaging, Metal Ape does not have a good charge attack. So most runners of this game don't use it very much. I use it defensively from time to time, or if there's just like a really good opportunity, but those are few and far between.
Did my link go through, or did it disconnect me from chat briefly?
I think it disconnected you from chat.
Okay.
Oops.
There you go.
I was mashing AB and it registered an air dash. That tends to happen with me a lot.
Same. Or at least my control's failing now. One of the two. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the bandana literally touches the ground when he's walking around. It is so over the top. So, yeah, it's weird on mine, because I posted initially, it says we are, like, it says all of a sudden I'm disconnected from chat briefly, so I didn't know if
You got global.
Yeah, apparently.
You got global for spamming nothing.
They know me too well. Yeah, but actually, in the character portrait, you can still see the bandana on his forehead.
Ooh, that was a nice shot.
They never changed that, but they took away the long bandana afterwards. Because if you look up later, obviously not during the race or races, if you look up the Japanese gameplay, like intro and all this other stuff, ooh, nice double dunk into the lava. It is ridiculous on the mechanics of it.
Also, this is a 7-character NPC line.
Yes, you and your conga lines.
I'll get into the conga lines later, because you can actually get really long conga lines later. So this is S-Class exam. After beating everyone in the police department, we're told about the S-Class license, which this robot's a little familiar. Well, turns out they have a simulation of Rahu as their final part of the exam to get the S-Class license. And the S-Class license is like classified information that only the government knows about. Oh wow, I had a decent start, but I couldn't get away from the wall. So this fight's awful.
Yes.
With a capital A. And a capital awful. If you try and get close, his gun will just come out and pretty much down you almost instantly. If not doing at least like several hundred damage.
Yeah, so basically, when it comes down to the Rahu guns, everything sucks. No matter which version of them you're reversing, the gun is overpowered. But
yeah, you're basically able to get by the first Rahu fight because Rahu has terrible AI.
Yeah, this one, for some reason, can zone the hell out of you. For literally no reason other than they just made it tougher.
Got it.
Oh, good job.
Nice.
Yeah, the sound effects in this game are really hard to balance. Audio.
Yeah, especially when you do close-range three-way shots or the stuff like that. Oh yeah, oh geez, you were edging it there. Let's jump over the bridge and snipe him. Good job.
Yeah, even if it's slower, you have to play safe on that fight sometimes.
Mhm.
It's better to be slow than to just die, because you're being aggressive. All right, so we've learned a bit about Rahu in the story, but before we get an info dump, we've just done 7 Robo battles, so they say, all right, we'll give you a text dump later.
And this
So
is
everyone
one
knows
of the
how.
shortest days now for actually what you do, because there's a lot of auto walking.
This is also the last day of what we call the bad ending category of this game. This game
Yeah.
has a joke bad ending. I'd love to show it off, but I mean, this is a race.
Don't worry, I'm far enough behind.
No, you're not getting me like that, Stinger.
He's just starting Rahu 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did have a death.
Yeah.
Well, I can just explain what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I could die, and then this race would be even. Almost.
That's how you're supposed to do races? One person dies, the other guy dies?
Yes, Johnny, that's how you do races. Don't rub
I've
it
been
in.
wrong so many times.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so the way bad ending works is there's a prompt in the game where you can choose: do you want to go to the villain's hideout and save the world? You can say no, and the game continues to give you like "but thou must" prompts. But after like 20 or so prompts, you'll just stay home, and you'll get an ending where the screen fades to black, and everyone's just like, "Dude, I died. Come on, hero."
Yeah, it basically, but it does have a proper fade out. That's the thing, which is why we can mark it as a bad ending, because it has a fade out and technically a different ending in big quotations. Even if it is a joke by the developers, it was still technically something. It's a great warm-up category.
Yeah, it's basically we don't really consider it a serious category, but it serves a few purposes. Namely, because of the way this game's final boss works, it's really hard to do self-imposed challenge runs in this game. We have a low percent category, which is where you just use default parts the entire run.
Which hurts.
So, low percent bad ending has like a final boss, effectively, of the Rahu S-Class exam fight without having to deal with the basically RNG final boss.
Of course, I have a near perfect Rahu 1 refight after I die to him.
Thank you for illustrating my point of if you die one time, the next fight goes a lot easier for some stupid reason.
I think it's programmed into the game to be that way, actually. Anyway, we haven't really touched on the story reason why we're here. So, Rahu was found at this Chinese restaurant. Evil takes it out, and he's like, I'm going to double-cross you and join the Z Syndicate, because he has a crush on Eliza, the woman with the fan. And she comes in and says, I've never seen you before, which is a plot point later, but needless plot twists.
this is where they forget they are supposed to have a story briefly. Like, all of a sudden there's a lot of twists and turns for really no reason.
It's great.
It is, it really is, but it's just goofy. Although, the fight that Ghost is on is take a preference for who you want to shoot in the back more, Oboro or Sergei. Each one is equally annoying, really.
Yeah. By the way, the blue-haired guy is Marcia's brother.
Gasp.
Spoiler. Gasp. Bump, bump,
What about Sophie?
What about Sophie?
What about Sophie's choice?
That... I don't know, Shawnee. Sometimes with you, Shawnee, I really don't know.
I know. Okay, actually, fun fact. I am, despite me having world record in every category except for Grand Battle and all parts, I know the least about this game. I don't know the parts, I don't know the robos. I'm just good at battling. That's it. And they're like, oh, this works with this combo. I'm like, cool, I don't know what that means. So, this is like the main category which I know a lot about, because I was only using like 5 parts. After that, everyone else knows way more about this game than me and lore and everything.
Pretty much. I'm 2 fights ahead. I can show off the bad ending.
Oh, you're a kind soul.
Gotta make it interesting. What is the world like? The world is flat. Has a huge wall.
Yeah.
Those are actual text prompts.
Yeah, because did you pay attention in school?
Yes, I paid attention in school.
Let's see here. If I go to Bad Ending New Game Plus.
We do sort of have a oil can percent meme category that we don't have on the leaderboards because only one person has done it, and it's awful.
Yeah, Drac.
Alright, so the police chief, now that we're all S-class Robo battlers, informs us that there is secretly a train underneath the town. The town that we're in is sort of like encased in a dome. Also, everyone's head clips into the railing of the train. Good old GameCube graphics.
Also, you're technically on pace to get second place for New Game Plus Bad Ending if you do it.
New Game Plus?
Oh, sorry, New Game Bad Ending. Sorry, bringing the wrong category.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't run that category.
Oh, that's
yeah,
what I mean. But if you're to showcase it, technically you do have the time.
So yeah, now we're out in space. This is where the game tries to lay a bunch of plot twists down at once.
Mm-hmm. It's cute. It thinks it's trying.
It thinks it's JRPG.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't care about it spoiling it.
Yeah, it's... Actually, to be fair, this game does have at least that on it. Everything else is pretty obvious leading up to things, but going out into the outer world was one part where it really isn't obvious.
Yeah, so the world was basically blown up, except for the dome that we're in.
And a theme park.
So they ask us to think it over if we want to go and save the world. No, I'm not going to showcase what happens if you miss bathroom skip. Also, I was mashing A, B there, so I could have totally just said I'm gonna walk home. I got lucky.
Yeah, there's a... you said yesterday when we were on call, there's like an 8-frame text box window or something?
There's 8 frames of input or of delay between text boxes, so if you're you can mash frame perfectly relatively easily. Because there's always like an 8-frame buffer.
Yeah. So it's... But at the same time, you can see when the text box comes up and you don't have to worry about instantly saying go home. Like if you catch yourself, or you know when the text box is coming up, you can only mash A for the final text box.
Yeah, so that cutscene is actually the reason why Ernest is part of the reason why Ernest is the best character. He says we're going on a mission from the police, And we're getting paid a lot of money, but the boss doesn't want us to take it. He's like, I'm no fool. I know you guys are putting yourself in some serious danger. He's like, I'm not gonna stop you, but please be careful. I don't want my workers dying on me. And Harry's like, boss, you're so kind.
Stinger did my answers.
Sergey, that scum. Alright, so here's what happens if you get the bad ending. If you mash B, Harry's like, come on, let's go. The human race will be annihilated. Don't be a coward. I can't believe you. Just keep saying, I'm not going.
That's scum. Get to do 20 no's.
Last chance.
Still not
okay.
going.
Yeah.
Human race was exterminated. If he had rejoined the others, perhaps this would have been avoided.
It's a little bit dark all of a sudden.
That's scum. Alright, 5-man Congo line, let's go.
You beat Poke Hero's bad editing time by 2 minutes.
Nice.
Just saying.
Also, apparently everyone has to high-five this painting on the wall of a hand. It's like...
Very aggressively hand five.
Yeah.
High five.
So I jokingly call any time we have a long chain of NPCs in this game a Congo line. Just on the account of the fact that all the characters' animations are relatively synced up, so it looks like just one long Congo line. I'm actually curious what my pace is right now.
I can check. So oh no, you didn't submit splits with your last run, did you?
No, I never submit splits because I'm too lazy.
Do I compare against mine?
No.
No. Nobody wants to compare against your splits, Shawnee. Except maybe Rizzle, but Rizzle doesn't like new game. New game, new journey, any %.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're raiding the Z Syndicate hideout, which is way bigger than it should be, let's be honest. I don't know how they use all this space.
The feng shui is great though. No?
So yeah, in
All
case you can't tell, this game is relatively non-serious, and most of the... Here's the way most community runs go. You just play the game out and talk about nonsense. And, yeah, as soon as somebody joins the Discord call, at least like 4 other people come in. It's like, the community is great because a lot of people in the community are just really supportive of the runs. We just kind of hop in and hang out every time somebody does a run. This is not actually the final dungeon, I should say.
No. This is...
Second to last.
Yeah. Well, excluding the bathroom if you hit it.
The bathroom is a branching path. So I got a good start there. I dealt about 1/3 of his HP. Usually you'll down an opponent 4 to 5 times in every fight in order to win. Optimally, I think you can do it in 3, but like it's only certain fights that you can even do that on. Oh wow, I got charged. It's like, I think that's the first time I've been charged and knocked down because of it. This entire run.
Bathroom %. I can't remember who in the community. Was it? I think Drac. It was you who did one of your runs. You missed bathroom skip, but you still beat Poke Hero's time, I think.
I don't know. Branching path, bathroom. We'll get to bathroom skip later.
Yeah.
It's the single most important skip in the game, which it's not really a skip so much as it is make sure you pick the right dialogue option. I like this part here. So Shiner's back, and he's got his stupid flying model with the flamethrower. But there's this great little bit of dialogue where he says to himself, like, "Crud, I'm outnumbered. How can I even the odds here?" And he's like, "Haha, I remember you from the tournament. Well, I will challenge you to a rematch." And that's basically his way of getting a one-on-one fight out of you.
I really think it should have been a 3-all-1.
I do too, because I hate Shiner.
Yeah, he can. To be fair, he costs me time because I always forget he's in the middle of the hallway when you're exiting, and I always run into his head and it costs a couple seconds.
Oh yeah.
So
Even when he's unconscious, he costs time.
yeah, he is a super. It's the same thing when Grand Battle. There's a police officer standing in the center of the hallway in the police station. The 3 times I see him, I will stop and try to mash, thinking he's going to talk to me. You'll notice that in my run, I still can't shake that. Hopefully I do, but it's just something about that. Like, people standing in the middle of the hallway screw me over in this game.
Yeah, we all like a lot of the Robo designs. A lot of the Robo designs in this game are great. Although people give me crap sometimes for using Swift. It's like, okay, it's the little girl Robo, but it's actually really fun to play with because it runs around really fast. So you hang behind a wall and you shoot somebody with a drill gun. It's great. I don't think they ever give a good reason. Let's just say anime powers are why he's so good at Robo battles. He also has started off with the Rayo 1 model, which was an experimental model that's supposed to be like in universe really good. Oh wow, I got hit with the drill gun. Drill gun's one of my favorite guns. It's just a drill that like hits you so many times.
It'll be used in Grand Battle to some varying degree of success as well. Because basically every weapon that you would naturally unlock in any percent, me and Rizzle are going to be able to have those from the very beginning. So, and there's going to be single-use tournaments and stuff, but unfortunately any percent, this is the setup for your Robo. Despite a game being called Custom Robo, this is what you get.
Yeah, just because it's so slow to visit the parts generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to actually have a route that used a couple other Robos. We switched out Robos between fights, but then basically I don't know who really started the trend. I just decided I'm not going to bother switching Robos, and because Metal Ape just has so much defense, it doesn't get knocked down very easily. And being able to be to stand up and jump and move and shoot your gun, turns out that's actually really important to going fast, because you can't really win fights if you're knocked down.
What a shocker. Never knew that hot tip. Thank you.
So
Now
while
I'm
Rail
gonna go
1
win
would
this
probably be theoretically the fastest Robo, it's very hard to use in like double battles and whatnot.
Yeah, because if you get hit, like Gatling gun, 3-way gun, both of them can easily down the Rayo 1, but if you have I think Metal Ape can take full on each one, can't he?
I think so. So this is Underpants Man, as we call him. He was just in the shower, and he comes out and he's like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And then you immediately confront him about a battle while he's in nothing but his boxers. He turns out he's one of the better just random Z Syndicate scrubs. He has a metal Robo with a shotgun, which means you can't down it even with 9 3-way bullets. And his shotgun will down you instantly. So this fight used to be the bane of my existence. So I give this guy a little bit of respect.
Yeah. There's a couple fights in the game which are, again, like Rahu 1 refight, this guy, the burglar with the shotgun on day 7. Like, there's a couple fights which could really screw up your times.
Most of them containing shotguns.
Or Gatling gun, if you have Rail 1.
Yeah.
Harry.
Alright, so Harry decides to patch up his sister, because she did lose a fight, and the safe mode is off, so he's just getting her a first aid kit. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned, like, do any of us meet up and do Robo battles? A few of us have been to GDQ. A few of us have been to speedrunning events. Stinger and I actually met at RPG Limit Break last year and did some Robo battling.
Poke Hero and Fire and Rizzle.
Poke Hero, Fire, and Rizzle have all. I've done some Robo battles with other people in the community.
And hopefully I'll be at RPG limit break next time, so we can all marvel in oil can battles.
Yeah, so this game does have multiplayer.
It's really
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to tinker with the Robos, but admittedly some of them are way overpowered, and a lot of them are really underpowered. There's a lot of really bad parts in this game.
But Crystal Strike is totally balanced.
Totally.
Yeah. Same with Stun Gun. They're absolutely perfect. That's a very close match you had, Stinger. I don't want to say anything during the match, but holy crap.
It was a little close, but it was fine. I know I just need to get one close range in.
Yeah. Honestly, this entire race is going to come down to Rahu 3, truthfully.
Yeah.
Like, he is such a large variable, and he's the final fight. Have fun.
And he's exactly what a final boss should be. Literally.
For better and for worse. For better and for worse.
So actually, I'll explain a little bit about Rahu 3 now, so I don't have to possibly ruin concentration for either of the runners. He has 1,000 health. Cool. He has like 4 or 5 times the defense of a normal Robo.
Yeah, think of him as effectively having 5,000 HP. That fight is done. We'll get to that in a bit. You can tell. You're not alone in that fight. You're teaming up against Rahu, and even then, that's still difficult. It also doesn't help that if you lose in a 2v2 fight, your ally does not continue without you. It's just the fight's over.
Yeah, you're supposed to be undefeated, basically. Which is really a shame, because I've lost a really good run to, like... I took a screenshot of it, too. I think Rahu 3 had literally 8 HP.
Yep.
And I had 2 allies left. But that would have been doable, but nope. Just nope. But yeah, Rahu 3 is... Honestly, if you're ever going to like practice running this game, I would say try like a bad ending or like New Game Plus or something first. Because fighting him with the 3-way gun is really difficult. He's the most mobile... Probably the most mobile Robo in the game.
Oh man, this fight's going so well for me. Dowerhead never focused on me once, so I just stood there just shooting it in the back with full point blank 3-way.
Yep, that is ideally what you want every match to look like.
Pretty much. This fight was as close to perfect as you're gonna get in this game.
And the little raiders and stuff like that, if you hit them with one bullet, they fall down. And then...
Really annoying.
Yeah, but you can exploit that, and if you can hit them while they're jumping away, you can get up to them again, do the close range 3-way shot, and keep repeating it. It's a little bit slower, but at least you can do consistent. Oh yeah,
made good use of the dash attack for once.
Yeah, it's a good dash.
No, it's not.
It is. But yeah, basically, speaking of Rahu 3 low percent feels amazing, man. That's a lie. And Drac shouldn't lie. We got custom Robo into the California Wildfire Relief Marathon, and that's one of the donation incentives. And it is beyond infuriating to try to kill him with low percent.
Yeah, so low percent, you have the basic gun and basic Rail 1 parts. They're not bad, honestly. They're solid parts, but Rail 1's bulk, Rail 1 does not compare to Metal Ape in terms of bulkiness, and 3-way is just better damage for that fight, because it shoots faster, has 9 bullets, and that fight, he takes a ton of damage, so... Essentially, low percent on that final boss comes down to just luck. Like, are you lucky enough that his AI and your AI will, that your partner's AI will be good enough that they're not going to die without you, and like you're not going to just get focused on. It's just all luck. Thank you, Dave. Give some credit to Stinger. He's also in here, although it's mainly occasionally.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this game is really hard to do commentary for, because we can explain everything in the first 15 minutes, and then it's like, well,
This
now
fight
what?
has this gun. This.
So we've been trying, like, that was actually my major concern for this, because with Grand Battle, there's a lot more to talk about. Because,
At least in terms of routing.
yeah, because that's something we can talk about.
Yeah,
80% is really use three-way, use Metal Ape, long thrust legs, and standard bomb S, and you're kind of trying to do the same thing every battle.
yeah, you have the same ultimate goal, although going about it is done differently.
Yeah.
So that's the one redeeming moment of Roy, is he says, "You go on without me," and he 1v3s those three guys,
He
and
puts him to sleep.
he wins.
No, he doesn't. He
So
stands
this
behind
is-
a wall, shoots a magnum, and he expects everyone to fall asleep out of boredom and timeout.
So it's
So
time
shows-
for a 2v2 fight against the evil syndicate leader and Marcia's brother. Or not. So this fight's a 3v1 pub stomp. It's almost a joke how easy this fight is. It's the easiest fight by far in the game to get perfect, including the first fight.
It's still
Yeah.
not that easy to do fast, though, because strike vanishes
No.
are awful.
They are, and the best case scenario is he stands beside you and tries to shoot, and you can kind of stay next to him a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, if he gets away, he's really hard to track down.
Yeah, as soon as he gets hit once, it's fairly easy to down him, because everyone is just unloading on him.
Oh, so on Stinger's stream, pay attention to Roy as well. He's blue. He's a jerk. Like, he's really not efficient. Knowing my luck, he probably will do well this time. But for the most part, Roy has never really done anything for me on my runs.
Yeah, so that fight's really, really easy. And
Poor
Turns out-
Oboro, he had one friend and he lost that.
yep, he basically gets backstabbed because Sergei was deceiving him the entire time. But he's still strong enough to try and. We haven't really touched on this. Whenever you access your Robo, it's referred to as a dive. Like, you dive into your Robo. So he's trying to dive into Rahu, who is now souped up and really strong. So this is Rahu 2.
Which actually is a lot easier than Rahu 1 refight.
Yes, this is actually the easiest Rahu fight in the game. There were 4 total, and this is actually easier than Rahu 1 the first time because you have an ally here. I should make note, though, that it's easy to win. It's, again, difficult to do fast because most Robos have, like, a set number of seconds after they are downed where you can do damage. For Rahu 2, it's 12 frames.
Yeah, he's quick to respawn, he flies away really quickly. It's really annoying. Oh, so Stinger, how would you rate Roy's battle finesse in that battle?
I actually wasn't paying attention to what he was doing.
Cool.
Kind
I
of
was too
don't.
busy getting destroyed by the other two.
Yeah, he was not doing anything at all. I can tell you that much. Just watching him go back and forth and shoot pods.
He's still not Harry.
I still think he's the worst partner. You have him for 2 battles and he fails in both of them.
I may be wrong. It may have been 30 frames. It's super, super short how little time you have.
And he gets downed easily as well, so you have a lot of invincibility frames too. So shouts to Team Rocket.
All right, so info dump time.
Yep.
little bit
Do
of
you want to know
info.
how many text boxes?
Sure.
Alright, let me load up the thing here then.
All right, I'm gonna be quiet here because I have to mash like.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
This upcoming part is 332 text boxes, 9 of
So
which
about
are
8% of the entire game's text.
Yeah. Because this game forgot to have a story, it went, oh crap, we're almost at the end.
Of course,
Yes.
over a rolled a 1.
So the
And
story
nobody
here.
else
Okay. So the story here is the main character's father was actually the guy who started the Z Syndicate, and it originally was not for evil. But it turns out that they were trying to suppress Rahu because Rahu destroyed the world and was actually an invisible force until it decided to turn itself into a children's toy for some reason. So that's why Robos exist, to do battle with Rahu. And now it's escaped, and the Z Syndicate is trying to get its power to control because to control the world because the two remaining admins had a power struggle.
Which is the twins and Oboro.
Also, the main way to defeat Rahu is a mind suppression device, which it turns out conveniently happens to be in the main character's watch.
Which we have issues with, truthfully, for post-game.
Alright, so there's your text info dump. It's 2 minutes straight of mashing. Yeah, PLOT. But that's less important than what's about to happen. Let's go. So, Congo line time.
In the meantime,
We have 5 NPCs behind me, so I call this the Congo line.
and I'm going to ask the chat, what do you think Z stands for in the Z Syndicate?
Or Z, if you're American. Zoom.
The Zoom Syndicate.
Okay, that
who's
is...
winning? Ghost King is currently winning by 2 battles.
Yeah, I'm ahead by 2 battles.
Because it's technically 1 battle in the exposition dump, and I'm counting that as the second battle.
Yeah.
The second battle against your fingers not crumbling in the dust.
Zanzibar!
Zanzibar. Z for Frank or Z, I like that.
Yeah. Syndicate with a Z. I like that. Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe Syndicate? That's great.
Also, I should
that's
point out
Iceberg.
this ruins is underground, and there's a ladder there.
Yeah. Ah, you got stuck on Shatterhead too. Yeah. It's just the letter. No, there actually is. There actually is a name for it. It's stupid. I
What
think
is
Fire
it?
found it out. It's Zex. ZEX.
Oh!
So
That's
like,
so dumb!
yeah, it's like, why? It's a-
I still like the Zoom Syndicate.
yeah, I think Zoom. I think I'll start calling it Zoom Syndicate, but with extra
Yes.
O's. So it's a Zoom.
And the
Yeah.
EX in Zex stands for extreme. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is actually a good start because he starts off on the lava and immediately takes 100 damage.
Yeah, and actually, I was saying before about basically basketball dribbling them in lava. If you can position yourself above the cube, shoot with the 3-way gun, they'll get hit. They'll get hit with the lava, they'll bounce up. The second bullet from the 3-way gun will hit them and they'll bounce again, and you can do roughly 250 damage really quickly. But it's actually slow to only do that, but it's a good way to start a battle. So...
Zex, when you want to make the letter Z, the letter X.
Yeah, no, it's the Zoom Extreme Syndicate. It's so silly, and actually there is actually I think it's on day 11 if you go to the hub park. The Z Syndicate is actually not known about now, and everyone in the park is actually guessing what the Z stands for. They have like zebra and all this other stuff, but most of them actually don't know what to do because there's not many letters or words that begin with Z. They're really confused. So that's why I wanted to ask that question, because you're basically a bunch of NPCs now, so you're welcome.
So this is the one fight where you have Mira on your team. She's generally a competent AI except for when Delphi is running this game. So you've seen him in chat a couple times. Delphi Knight has done, I think, 2 runs of this game, and one of the runs he lost this fight.
Which is unusual, because this is probably the guaranteed one fight that your partner isn't incompetent. Plus,
Yeah.
the enemies aren't too difficult.
It helps when somebody has a funky big head model, which are the tank head, dower head, or seal head models, all of which are incredibly easy to knock down because they just soak up damage.
Well, the thing is, they actually don't get downed easily. But the thing is, before they get down, you can deal a lot of damage, and the damage scaling isn't too forgiving on them, despite them being really slow. It's actually really mean for.
They're also
design.
down for very long periods of time.
Before rebirth. Yeah, there you go. There's Delphi. Yeah, no. So bathroom skip is coming up after.
I know. So we jokingly call this Drac Room skit because our pal Dark Rose Dracula, who was actually the guy who kind of, in a way, got me into running this game, along with Pokehero. He's missed this. The only way you can miss this skip is by not pressing B.
Fun fact, if Ghost King misses a skip, basically him and Stinger will be on exactly the same time frame again for how many battles? Because it's 2 battles, 1 single, 1 double, and it's a small little arena and it's super annoying.
Yeah,
but you
so
can just be mean to Harry and skip it.
inside the bathroom is two Robo battles that you have to fight together with Harry, and a couple of cutscenes as well. So it's faster to just stand out here and wait for him to be done than it is for to go in with him.
And it's really easy to forget when it comes up too, like when the text prompts. So if you want to be safe, only mash B. It costs a little bit of time, but unfortunately,
we're talking frames.
Yeah, it's not overly. It's better to be safe than sorry, except on my run, because I actually have to mash through that to make sure I save all the possible time. Because scary. Yeah, this... yeah, you're now versing the Zed Lackey, which is my favorite fight in the game, actually. It's in the Carousel Arena. For whatever reason, he has a seal head, and you can just wallop this poor thing. Let's see here.
Yeah, you can do over 400 damage in a single combo, and if you're able to stick to him, this fight will last less than 30 seconds.
Oh, so just to confirm, should I start streaming on my side too for setting up Grand Battle?
Should probably start getting started pretty soon.
Okay, I'll get that going.
Originally, we wanted to do sort of a relay race with this, but because of technical stuff, we decided it'd be just better to do separate races.
It's going now. And everything's set up the way you wanted it, Stinger, so... And of course, I have a surprise for Ghost King.
Nice.
On my character.
Yeah,
Because
so
like that, I gotta use save files.
I'm far off from PB pace, but so far this run has been deathless, so that's pretty much what I can
hope for. Yeah, the world record run has obviously is deathless as well, but it's too frustrating because any small thing can derail the entire run. But for marathons, I think I'd probably enjoy running 80% for that.
Yeah, so as I've made mention, the 2 categories we're doing for this are New Journey and Grand Battle, which are the 2 separate story modes. We have an all parts category as well, which is the equivalent of 100%, which is basically both plus a couple of extra things. So this fight can be a real annoyance because she has Gatling, so if you end up with a bad dice roll, like, you can actually lose this fight. I've lost a run to this fight before. We've kind of all lost runs to a ton of different fights in this game.
I accidentally went to the bathroom.
Oh no!
So hey, now we get to see actually how.
Well,
okay, this is a showcase. We showed off bad ending. Now we're showing off bad track skip. That's
I
all we're
have no
doing,
idea
right?
what these battles are.
They're annoying. Have fun. It's the smallest arena in the game. It's literally the bathroom arena.
Oh, nice.
So okay. Also, Beneficent Q says, how does one find the Discord server for this community? Should I post the link?
Yeah. Go
yeah. Go ahead and just just post it or whisper it to him. All right. So this is the maze. For a long time, we used to think you had to do 2 fights in this maze. It turns out the fight at the start is the only one you need to do. So routing out the maze took a while. There's this very long, convoluted path. But it turns out this is the fastest one because there's no encounters this way.
I don't think I can make it.
I say encounters. There are fixed points throughout the maze where there are Z-lackeys hanging underneath the floor, and if you step in their range, they'll start a fight. It's basically like Pokemon. I mean, I did give us a lengthy 2-hour, 25-minute estimate for this, so...
Yeah. Yeah, 250 is honestly a pretty good estimate, because...
225.
Oh, 220, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking what I put for... well... Yeah,
Well,
okay, there you go. Thanks, Drac. There's the Discord.
Yeah, we've kind of combined with part of the NetPlay Discord as well.
We actually have quite a few people in here and enjoy late night calls with people and memes.
Yes, if you like memes, hit us up. We are the memeiest of communities.
Yeah.
Without actually being really memey.
Yeah. We're like, hell, me and Ghost King, I was up till 5:30 yesterday. We were posting stuff, and I was posting like bad pun pictures and stuff to screw with them. So.
Oh god. What were the puns you came up with yesterday?
I can't remember. I was so sleep deprived.
Please don't remember them.
Yeah, I am more than happy to take any new runner and talk you through how to do stuff.
I forgot to set the runners. I did set FFZ follow. Those are that's still from the Final Fantasy Relay.
Yeah.
Well, our names are on the stream, so if you want
I'll post your links in the chat in a sec.
Yeah, Stinger runs Secret of Mana sometimes, occasionally, maybe.
Someday. And Stinger. This sounds like a great run you're having. Yeah, there you go.
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There you go. Oh, okay. Drac, quit beating me to stuff. You're making me look bad. Oh, cool. Okay, no, never mind. I posted Stinger's speedrun page. My bad. Oh well.
Good job, Shawnee.
Yeah.
So this is the second to last fight in the game. It turns out there are two identical twins because, pointless plot twists.
Oh, you're on the second to last fight in the game?
Yep.
That must be nice.
Okay.
It turns out the woman we met at the Chinese place was actually the twin sister of the woman we met at the lab.
Yeah. So basically, everything which is coming down now, if Ghost King were to have really bad Rahu 3 luck, Stinger can still easily catch up and win.
That'd be really bad luck.
But it's still possible in this game.
Yeah, so our buddy Mechacthulhu hates this fight because he lost like a world record pace run on this fight one time. I think it caused him to lose a race by like 2 seconds.
My 2:04.4 world record I had 25 HP left and I was cowering in the corner away from both twins at one point. Like, it was beyond scary. And then, obviously, my most previous PB, I corrected that, which is why I was able to save time. But I hate this fight now. I normally don't have issues with it, but just Stinger's Let's Playing. Sorta.
Stinger's showing off all the stuff. Just get all the fights in the maze. There's like 5 of them or something.
9. But anyway.
Yeah, so Grand Battle runs have a file preset that has already done all the fights in the maze. I just got Shoryuken. No, I did the Shoryuken.
Sure you can.
Yeah, I don't think I can beat my marathon PB of 2:15, but
No, it's
gonna be pretty close.
2:35-ish to do from Fade Out to Rahu 3 Fade Out, basically, for twins and whatever for me. So I don't think it's possible unless you really get a freaking good Rahu 3, which I want. Please give.
Yeah, I would say you're probably going to get 2:15.20 with a good run. Or a good Rahu 3.
I'm calling 2:16.
I'm gonna say high 2:15. That is assuming this goes deathless, which anything can happen on this fight.
Yeah. And now I will be quiet for Ghost King on this one because concentration is needed to make sure you don't get wrecked.
Yeah, so to give a demo of this fight, this is Rahu 3, the final boss of the game. This fight will stomp you several times over in a casual playthrough. It's a 3v1 fight, and again, if you die, then your AIs will not save you, so the fight just ends.
Yeah.
He has 5,000 HP, effectively. It says 1,000, but he has 5 times super armor. And then lastly, he has 1 frame of being down. Like between when he comes back up after being down is 1 frame. Like, and when rebirth happens is 1 frame.
Which is brutal at the best of times. Like, it's...
Yeah. If you get hit point blank, you will take 300 damage.
And he can also do a second shot right after that for another 150. Like,
a lot of times you'll see me. Yeah, a lot of times you'll see me just charge because when you're charging on Metal Ape, you have a large amount of invulnerability frames, and it also does 30 damage immediately, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, the iframes on Metal Ape are really appreciated here because if he's targeting you, if you do a couple of charges, he actually will sorta switch targets. It's not confirmed really, but.
Darn, I wanted to finish him in style. Okay, I won.
Okay.
Deathless marathon run.
Nice. Congrats.
About 2:15:40 or so, or
2:15. 2:15:32.
okay.
My timer didn't stop. Oops. So we time it on the fade out after the final boss.
Yeah.
Just because the community kind of agreed, we didn't think that the extra mashing after the final boss fight was really that necessary for the run.
Nah.
You can show off the credits because this game has another mode that you can play in.
Yeah, I've still got 3 fights to go, so.
That's if Maze Route goes right. Yeah, first person mode.
So we get one final message from our dad saying, "I'm proud of you, son. You saved the world."
Even though he's dead.
He made that just in case.
Yeah, do you think there's like another tape where he's like, "I am so disappointed in you"?
So they decide that they're going to tell the world about Rahu and like prepare in case he ever returns, that kind of stuff. So, and tell people of, the small world that they live in and all that. So that's going to come up a bit more in Grand Battle. No, this run has no glitches. We kind of want to see if there's like a skip somewhere, but so far we've not been able to find anything. The biggest piece of tech is the maze.
Yeah, I have found 2 things. One is on the very start of the game, when you're going to talk to Ernest, you can be anywhere on the line in front of him, and it'll teleport you there. So you don't have to worry about running into Harry's legs. And then the other one is on day 10, before your first match, you can squeeze between the table and Harry.
And that saves like 0.2 seconds.
If that, because sometimes it can screw up, but it's not worth. Like, there is no real skips in this game. It's really annoying. Because I want a sub 2. But I need something found before that happens.
So the credits, you see this first-person mode. It's an unlockable mode in the game. It's not very fun to actually play with, but it's kind of a neat little touch tab for the credits, where you fight against your own Robo. Also, the credits music's really good.
It is. The music, the C stick, if you push up, will go into first-person mode and out of first-person mode. You can deactivate that in the menu, so there'll be no chance of me accidentally hitting that on my game, because it drives me nuts to lose focus of the second opponent. And I think it makes the game lag slightly too. I don't think it's really as efficient as playing it as top-down. But it's a thing, and you always have that little frame around it as well, which is kind of inconvenient as well.
I can consider this a proper run back for my Xanathon run. I did a run for a marathon that I died like 5 times in. I got like a 224 or something.
I remember when the last time me and Rizzle raced in any percent, he did beat my world record of, I think it's like 210 or something. He got a 209 something, or no, I had a 212 and he got a 210. and I got on that race at 2:23. So in the background of his video, I was complaining quite a bit in the back. I'm like, I shouldn't have died and all this other stuff. But it's a good game. And this is just the first part of the game, which is a much shorter segment overall for battles.
I really like this game. It's got a goofy story. Its localization team put a lot of heart into basically bringing to life a game that would have otherwise had like a forgettable, a little over the top kind of goofball story with a little bit too much info dumping.
Yep, and
the battles are fun.
Yeah, they are.
Fun. We love Robo battles.
I'm indifferent.
Robo battles.
I've done too many Robo battles. I've done like 112 runs of any percent or something collectively. So, yeah. That's a lot of mashing for the record. But whatever. It's a really, really fun, easily pick up speedrun game if anyone's interested. And thanks to Delphi, we actually have proper notes instead of mine. Yeah, did you not? True. As opposed to my chewed up notes I was using yesterday for my grand battle practice. And Stinger is now on to Rahu 3.
Yeah. Ghost King, if you could be so kind as to go to some screen with music. Apparently my capture card's audio is not working.
Ooh, okay.
I have no idea why.
Oh, part index, part index.
Go for it. Or you can put on Rahu 3 battle music, because that's where I'm going right now.
I don't have my memory card in.
You should be able to load up New Journey again and just fight Rahu 3.
I forgot you can do that. Shoot.
Nice.
I exited to the menu. Okay.
At this rate, he's gonna be done the battle.
Oh, not quite. I'll probably die a couple times just the way this run's gone.
It's fine.
Actually,
This run is not
guaranteed. Fight just because.
Like there's a lot of difficult battles, so.
Good luck, Stinger.
Yep.
Please stop focusing me. He's been focused on me for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, he's annoying that way.
Yeah, this fight you're always going to kind of cut it close on HP most of the time.
I think my best ever I've done was like 500. But still like 2 hits.
There we go.
That's
not too bad.
Honestly, no. Like it's still an incredibly difficult battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to play it careful at some points, but
Almost always. Ah, GG.
I like how Harry's dancing on the corpse of him.
Harry is very happy to be done with
He's
Rahu.
also doing his dance against
Almost
Metal Ape's
as happy
body as well.
me.
You sound it. I've done one Thermosity, that's normally on cue.
GG.
GG.
Indeed.
Now it's time to go set up for Grand Battle.
Yeah.
But thank you for the race, Ghost King.
Well, thanks for signing up to do this. Because again, I did have to. We did have like 3 people sign up, but unfortunately, Drac had some stuff going on today. So,
How much does one death cost in actual time?
usually
On normal battles,
90
about a
seconds.
minute.
Yeah,
Ish, at
minute
best.
to minute 30.
Yeah. On Rahu 3, 2.5, depending on how far in a battle you are. Because he has so much damn defense, it's really hard to get back to that level. It's just really annoying.
Mhm.
So about this whole police thing having memory erasing devices.
That's not a bad idea in every way.
No!
Oh, yeah, that would never be abused.
Yeah. Let's check out what Grand Battle.
All right, so next up is Grand Battle between Terizzle and Shawnee here. So, thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned.